GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't from me straight to plot. But when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Been east to rich, when east and they still when I make it thighs. But the schoolies never bet for me, my always still for thighs. I'm the horn, niggas know they cute too, I keep out the bone. But let's get you know my me and miss be up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will stay up front. And if they got me know, then I you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. This ain't I'm easy, but I hate I wakes what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get I'll keep a four, I know some planet, yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my leasing to living. All the flu on the blend, that resetting you reeling. That's kicking out of love, I might never be willing. Bitch, you'll never know what you, I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people, but you never know this name is Kanana sequel. Sticking fresh, taking down, so decide the needle. Put down, stay the time to line like you want the needles. And if you hate when I'm like the brown, it's like your cam in the ground till they come a noun. But like I'm so fresh up and through the moose confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all fuck you. Say you never lose stakes, it's later Purricana. I was go do he's not a like a bagel, Jake your face. But I was thinking to his soul when y'all was by the cover. And now I rain, man, I ain't like the make whatever. I say blend flame mind, you gave me no restriction. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you me love me now, but sure and never tripping. It's the enemies it's all, boy, yo come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
What up, dope fam? Back in the building. This is GPTV1 Live. I'm excited to be with you all. And I got a lot of stuff to unpack in this live stream. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm live on social media, on Twitch and YouTube. You can also follow me on social media. You can follow me on X. The link should be down in the description. And you can follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting a lot of stuff over there. And we're going to build this community together. While you're here, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button as we march towards 8,000 subscribers. Some of the stuff I'm going to get into today. This is Friday, man. I'm just having fun with this live stream today. We're going to talk about some of this Diddy stuff, this alias person named Mia. Testifying and all that type of stuff. I got some interest, some good stuff to show on that. Excuse me, I'm too excited right now. And many people are saying that even if Diddy get found guilty, will Trump pardon him? And you know, Diddy gonna have some tricks up his sleeve if he get found guilty on this stuff. So it's been a big debate about that. We're going to go over some of this Larry Hoover stuff and NBA YoungBoy. We're going to talk about that because I didn't even know he got pardoned. But before we get to all that, I want y'all to check out this public announcement. Check it out. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity, inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the inner circle. Your journey starts now. Much love. Yeah, I'm back. Welcome back to GP TV1. This is the live stream. And this Diddy stuff, I'll call it as the Diddy turns, because it's just a soap opera right now. And like I said on other live streams and episodes, his life is on the line. And many people wonder, if he do get found guilty, will Trump pardon this guy? And they actually asked Trump that question, and we're going to get to that as well. He did give a response on that. And many people think that Trump is using these guys to strategize getting votes when it's time to re-elect. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think Trump is using these guys for votes because he knows Larry Hoover probably can get people to vote? I don't know about P. Diddy. Even if he do lose this trial, or even if he don't, he's still destroyed. He a mess right now. But the debate is Trump is using these people for votes, and that's why he pardoned people like Larry Hoover. And we're gonna get into all that. But the Diddy trial is it's been lighting everything up, and it's been covered from media from all over the world. So all kind of media outlets has done their various versions, and plus all us podcasters and bloggers and all that stuff. We made our own versions of this trial, covering this trial. Plenty of people covering this trial. So they gave their various versions, and a lot of these players are surrounding this situation, whether this is RICO case or the civil cases. They all giving interviews to these various media outlets from other countries. Just in case people in America may not have seen these interviews, but they're on there for sure. One of the things I want to show is this interesting piece that Sammy the Bull gave regarding this trial right here, because he got caught up in a couple of RICOs, and he was responsible for helping to bring down John Gotti. Let's get to that clip right here. Let's check out and see what Sammy the Bull say about this case. Let's see. Let me find his case right here. Excuse me. All right, I think I got it. There we go. Let's share that. Let me widen that screen up. And I want to...
If you haven't gone through it all.
Let's get through it.
Whatever he did was completely disgusting. As a person alive, a man without the RICO case, lawyers were confused about the organization, but it's going to be a company. This is a different form of, easy to understand when you're using it against the mafia. Law was used. Times I tested, was arrested.
Case so far applies in C that locked away yourself, pulled under the RICO, gone through it all, having been pulled under the RICO statute and been locked away yourself. Do you see that racketeering applies in what you're hearing out of Diddy's case so far?
Yeah, parts of it. The racketeering law is a very complicated law. I was arrested a couple of times under RICO, and a couple of times I testified in cases that the RICO law was used. And it's easy to understand when you're using it against the mafia or a cartel or an organization. organization like that, a criminal organization. This is a different form of the RICO, where the organization is where Diddy had his company, and he used that as a criminal organization. But it's going to be a little hard to understand for a lot of people because it was confusing. Lawyers were confused about it. I'm a little confused about it. I think they have a clear-cut case without the RICO case. I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal.
This is a guy they caught a real RICO charge, straight from the mob.
I don't even know what it is. I look at it like...
And then one of the problems, like he's trying to explain, this dude, these people supposed to be working on albums and all that type stuff. But he got them running around, picking up dope and jumping on people and blowing stuff up, at least allegedly. But let's go.
He disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people and they hate him for it because
he disgraced the black race. What do y'all think about that? Is P. Diddy disgracing the black race?
It painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty or he's cut free or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would, give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
I mean, even though he snitched and all that type of stuff, or corroborated, you know, a lot of this stuff do have some type of rules to it, and some things can be considered heinous, even to the mob people.
If we did that in the mob, we would be killed for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers, killing for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been killed. There would be no trial.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get...
That's interesting. Coming from Sammy the Bull. He said if Diddy was in the mob doing all that, he would be killed. This is interesting. Coming from Sammy the Bull. I wanted to play that, but I'm gonna get into some of this coverage on Diddy. And I want to sort of get, I want to go to that with Trump, where they asked Trump about him pardoning Diddy. Let's go to that. Yeah. Okay. I want to share that. And they did ask Trump about if Diddy was convicted. So I want to do that right there. I'll come out of that. Let's go here. I want to share my screen, and I want to go to that to see how did Trump respond to that. I'm going to cut in. I'm going to move it up some.
Sean Diddy Combs, if he was convicted of a federal crime, the president responding and saying he'd have to look at the facts. That does it from here, from Lower Manhattan, the federal courthouse, on another week of testimony.
So Trump said he got to look at the facts if Diddy was convicted. And I believe if Diddy be convicted, he immediately gonna reach out to Trump You best believe that. They got some of the same homeboys. He gonna reach out to Trump immediately. You best believe this dude is not trying to spend his life in prison. That's a fact. So, and many people think that Trump is doing this to get these votes next time you come around for re-election. And I want to lay down a disclaimer, like this is not a political channel, but I get a lot of political comments and stuff like that. It's like everything is Trump's fault. I get a lot of that stuff. So, but a lot of people think he's using this card and stuff and get votes and all of that stuff. But I do want to go into some of this Diddy coverage and see what's going on and get my commentary on that. So it says Diddy and Cassie's ex-stylist testifies. Okay, let's see what y'all talking about on here. I want to share my screen as well. Let's see what y'all talking about. Yeah, let me share this. Yeah, let me see. Commercial. They gotta get their money. They gotta get their bread. I ain't mad at them.
Anushka, this was riveting testimony. It was so emotional at times. I mean, she described in detail the chaotic, the fear-inducing work environment that Diddy allegedly fostered, but she never wanted to tell these stories at all. She never wanted to be in this position publicly, right?
Yeah, and Mia made clear that, you know, she was subpoenaed and that's why she was there. But she also said, particularly pertaining to some of the sexual abuse that she alleged, she only spoke about this for the first time a year and a half ago when she started speaking to prosecutors. And even when she was on the stand today, it was different from when we heard from Cassie. Cassie kind of felt like she'd been over this before. She'd sat with what she alleged happened to her, and she'd kind of worked it out, what she thought, what she felt.
You can hear that, hear this woman's accent. Like I said, they covering this stuff from all over the world.
Today with Mia, it kind of felt like she was coming to terms with it on the stand. And sometimes that meant she was looking down, she couldn't finish her sentence. Prosecutors had to kind of help her get to the end of the testimony, and it got a reaction in the room. Multiple journalists were in the lift crying, and that is not something you see every day.
Especially given the graphic nature of what has been over a dozen witnesses at this point, describing in detail violence, sexual assault. These allegations are not for the faint of heart. And as you point out,
and all those stories seem to be coordinated, in my opinion.
You're still not even desensitized to what you're hearing, particularly with this particular witness, because she was afraid. At one point, her lawyer...
You heard Sammy the Bull, he said Diddy would have got murked if that was the actual mob.
Lawyer in the first week of trial said that she wanted to take this information to her grave, Anushka. How did Diddy react to her testimony?
So Diddy's looking at her, but I think the most important thing is she doesn't want to look at him at all. When she was speaking, she looked down the entire time. And to the point, you know, some people bring binoculars in to look at the screen. They're in the overflow room. People were leaning in there trying to look at her. She did not look up once. I mean, he looked dead forward. He does that a lot. But the most impactful thing is that she kind of played with, it's like she got smaller and smaller as she told the story.
Oh, man.
It's so uncomfortable to watch. And of course, for her to relay this in real time, and she was crying for a good part of the testimony.
Yeah, she was upset. She was, like I say, she was kind of grappling.
Pity party.
With what she felt and thought at the time, and she kept trying to get across, I don't know why I feel ashamed, I don't know why I felt like it was my fault, but this is how I felt. I must have done something wrong to make him so angry. I felt stupid afterwards. I felt like it wasn't going to happen again, and then it did. One
thing I can say about abuse, a lot of people just don't believe you. Some people just think it's funny, like literally, but abuse is a real thing. Let's go.
These were all the things that she was alleging, but she was kind of trying to communicate to the jury. There's a really complex set of emotions here that it sounded like she was just starting to come to terms with while she was up there.
In the public eye, under a pseudonym, hoping to have taken all of this to her grave. Anushka Matunda-Doherty, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so this person that was on the stand is going by this alias Mia. And I haven't seen any reports of people knowing who the person actually is. I don't know, maybe this person wearing a wig or something in the courtroom. But, you know, a lot of these people going to get on the stand, and people that's surrounding this situation, they're going to run everywhere telling their stories. Books and all kind of movies. Like, when is the Diddy movie going to be made? I can't wait to see that. It should be a Diddy movie made. Yeah. So yeah, all these people gonna have podcasts and interviews and book deals and all kind of stuff going on here. And I guess who's gonna be left broken? Diddy, whether he make it out of this or not, he's still gonna be a broken man. Like he's done. I mean, this is all over the world, man. You done career-wise. Like, how you gonna reinvent yourself? You know, so yeah, that's crazy, man. I want to move on to some more stuff and give my little commentary on that. Let me see. I think I want to go to this one and check out what they saying. Hold on, let me go back. When you stepping in the building, click that like button. It don't cost nothing to click that like button, show some support. I appreciate it. Join the membership. It's constantly growing on this channel. Grow together. Okay, let me see which one I want to go to with this one. So this one just came up. Okay. And this is day 17 with this Diddy trial. Let's go here and get some commentary on this.
ABC News Live, week 3 of the Sean Diddy. Let's start in Lower Manhattan, outside the federal courthouse. That's where we find Aaron Katursky, our chief investigative correspondent. And Aaron, you've been in court there every day of this trial. The witness using the pseudonym Mia was back on the stand today for the second day in a row. Today she faced.
Always appreciate a good reporter, and this guy right here does a great job. Salute.
Cross-examination. What happened?
She faced a tough cross-examination when she was confronted, Eva, with her own social media posts, and they were flattering about Sean Combs. They called him everything from legend to her mentor, her inspiration, her rock star unicorn, whatever that is. Just entirely flattering. And the defense showed these and then asked, that's the guy that traumatized you? That's the guy you said repeatedly sexually assaulted you? And facing those incredulous questions from defense attorney Brian Steele, Eva, Mia simply said, yes, I was in an abusive relationship. She explained that she was traumatized and almost sounded like she was leading this double life, concealing what she testified happened to her in this toxic and traumatizing work experience, but also being a good corporate soldier and promoting Combs when required on social media.
Brian Steele, one of Sean Combs' attorneys, asked her a lot of questions about November 4th. What's the significance of that date?
That's Sean Combs' birthday. It's also the day that Mia testified she was first sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. She said it happened at the Plaza Hotel here in New York City when they were in the penthouse. She said Combs pulled her alone into the kitchen, put his hand up her dress and forcibly kissed her when she did not want him to. And so defense attorney Brian Steele then questioned why she would send Combs all of these birthday wishes. There would be these photo collages. There was even one handwritten happy 45th birthday Puff Daddy and a long handwritten note flattering Sean Combs for all that he had accomplished. And Steele kept coming back to, this was a date that's
P. Diddy was high.
Stuck in your mind. And Mia resisted a bit. She said, I knew the date to be Sean Combs' birthday, but she didn't think about it as the date of her first sexual assault.
Prosecutors asked Mia today about the time she was suspended from her job for Sean Combs. Tell us about that.
Sean Combs suspended her on several occasions, she said, and often it occurred without explanation. And the only thing that she could think was that it happened after Combs was violent with her, or she witnessed violence and somehow reacted to it, either ran away or tried to hide. And she told the jury about some of these, what she considered to be specious reasons for being suspended. And when she would try to reach out.
So this is the stuff they're trying to explain is the criminal enterprise.
It was almost as if she was getting an eye roll. She showed the jury some messages with D-Rock, one of Combs's bodyguards, after he said, "What happened?" And she said, Sean Combs just got mad about her not laying out the right workout clothes.
Aaron, this is a federal case, and the president is able to issue pardons in federal cases. Could he issue one for Sean Combs if he's convicted?
Sure, he could. And in fact, he was asked about that today at the White House. And when he was pressed about it, he did not rule out a pardon for Sean Combs. Take a listen.
I would certainly look at the facts. I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking.
There you go.
So if Sean Combs is convicted here in federal court, it's possible he could seek a pardon. It's possible that Trump would.
I guarantee you, if P. Diddy get convicted on these charges, he will be calling Trump up immediately. That's a fact. You can best believe that. Remember, Trump lived down there in New York City too. He had cases down there, and they try to put some of them sexual type of charges on him and all that stuff. So he sort of understands a lot of this stuff. You know, he hang out with people that does all that. So, but yeah, he gonna call Trump up immediately. He already got his number on 911 mode. So they say guilty or whatever. But even if he do that, he still would be destroyed either way. He can get commuted, not guilty or whatever. This guy's career is destroyed. There's no way you can reinvent yourself from this. Not in the same manner you was doing before, for sure. Then you're 55 years old, so and then you still got to go through all those civil cases. So this dude gonna be wrapped up in court for the next few years, for sure. And they gonna put a dent in his pocket too. You think them lawyers ain't gonna dig into them pockets? They definitely gonna do that. So we know that Trump, people has asked Trump that question. Let's play some more of this.
Granted, but we're only 3 weeks of testimony in, Eva.
Aaron Katursky at the courthouse for us there. Thank you so much, Aaron. And here to break this down for us is ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer. You have also been in court all week. It's been a busy week. What stood out to you?
That it has. Well, we've had a number of kind of star witnesses in their own rights, starting from.
This guy is like a defensive lawyer, so.
So the Capricorn Clark closest to you, she brought in some of those kidnapping allegations, the underlying charges, some of the RICO, both of herself, where she said for 5 days she was subjected to a lie detector test. One of which, another kidnapping incident, she alleged that Sean Combs had showed up to her home and woke her up at gunpoint and went to Kid Cudi's house. And that's where we got LAPD officer Ignacio, as well as LA Fire arson investigator Jimenez, talking about that investigation into the incident that involved Kid Cudi, as both the.
That girl Mia, she had on some type of wig or something, trying to disguise herself.
Alleged burglary and the arson, and then Dante Nash, the stylist for Sean Combs and Cassie. Some very explosive and interesting testimony there, and of course, as you said, with Mia testifying about the allegations that not only applied to her, but also corroborating some of what Cassie alleged as well.
The defense showed photos from Mia's social media today. What was the point of showing those photos?
So the idea is to show that that Mia, in the same time as these allegations of sexual assault, as well as forced labor, and this very contentious and difficult working relationship, to say the least, that she had these very positive messages from social media, from a scrapbook, from what she described as Sean Combs, as Aaron pointed out, the kind of unicorn, all those other words. But she also explained why she did it. She said she didn't want her family and friends to know the misery that she was in, that her social media were just the highlights of the very highs that she talked about, but the alleged abuse was a part of those very lows that she also talked about as well.
The cross of Mia got pretty tense. How do you think the defense handled that?
Yeah, so Brian Steele is the defense attorney who was cross-examining Mia. As we saw prior to Mia, where Cassie, the other female alleged victim, she was cross-examined by a female attorney instead. It's a little bit more contentious. Brian Steele is a former public defender like myself, turned into a now private defense attorney. He's pushing really hard of saying, okay, you were allegedly assaulted and abused here, and then you send out this message. How could you have this type of message and feeling to a person that did this? I think it's a very dangerous way to cross-examine someone because you don't know what response you're gonna get. Don't forget about Dante Nash.
That's bad right there. That's not really good cross-examination when you try to do that, you know, so. Yeah, but they're gonna ask that question. You said this, but then you turn around and do something nice and thoughtful.
Who asked a very dangerous question as well, and he admitted on the stand that he did participate in crimes under the employment of Sean Combs. But so far, not a dangerous response from Mia, but definitely getting there. You can see some of the questions and responses here.
During the lunch break, this was an interesting moment. The defense team tried to bring in a new piece of evidence. The judge denied that. What happened?
So this is very interesting. They tried at the last minute to get in this social media video from 2013 where it appears that Mia was celebrating a party or a birthday of some sorts, and they're trying to show that her demeanor on the stand is very different from this video. But because of the last minute application to bring it in, as well as the nature of the video, they denied it. But a very interesting point that came up is they said they found out this video last night. They stumbled upon it, but also people on the internet emailed it to the defense team to try to show this juxtaposition of how Mia is presenting in the court as opposed to in some of this video.
Brian Buckmeyer, we'll have more with you in just a little bit. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah,
every person taking the stand in this case walks up and takes their seat in front of a packed courtroom. The jury, the gallery, the teams of lawyers, and of course, Sean Diddy Combs. Our next guest.
Hey, y'all stopping by, click that like button. I'm finna come out of here. I just wanted to give some of my commentary on some of the updates that's going on in this trial right here. As the Diddy turns, as I call it. But yeah, man. All this stuff seems coordinated. We all know that they're just trying to get something to bring this guy down. You know, he's dirty in a lot of ways, and I just truly believe they just can't get him on this other stuff. And so they got to come up with this. And then Cassie, she on her mess too. So, but I'm not saying this guy is nice or whatever like that. And we can't say that even though this is how he freak off and all that stuff, it's still all some crazy stuff that he got going on. So, but yeah, that's so horrible, man. And like I said, these people are supposed to be working on interviews and concerts and tours and that type of stuff and marketing and, you know, branding. But instead, he basically got everybody doing the stuff that pleases him. You know? And I just think he just had too many people in his business, man. You know, and that's just a lesson for everybody. You go out there doing stuff, especially if you're getting high. Once the party stops, now you a junkie. This guy looking like a bona fide certified junkie now, you know, because the party has stopped. And people will sit there and watch you get blown out your brains, you know. A lot of people call them yes men. And speaking of the mafia, I think of one of the important roles, at least in the Godfather movie, and they did it for real, was having that conciliatory type person, the rational person that sits next to you. That's the person that's next to the underboss. A lot of them be lawyers. In the Godfather movie, the guy Tom played that role. He was actually a lawyer. You know, he's like one of those rational type thinkers or whatever. So a lot of people just need that rational thinker next to them, you know, to stop them from doing shit. Because people sit there and watch you get high, blow it out your brains. They know you're doing stupid stuff. They're not even gonna stop you. They encourage you to do it. You know, as long as you keep getting high, doing this, that, and party and all this stuff, people is gonna help you party until you fall off. And they'll sit there and watch everything you're doing. And years on down the line, they're gonna bring all this stuff up. Especially if you leaving people without no money, turn their water off, you stop taking care of them and all that stuff. Well, they really gonna come after you then. That's what happened to Michael Jackson. You stop taking care of people, turn their water off, guess what? You end up with charges. No, dog. They're going to air you out. They go for anybody. You don't have to be Diddy. So you got some stuff going on. Be careful who you're doing in front of, you know. They sitting there watching. They ain't going to stop you. They're not going to stop you. They'll allow, you know, once you get this high as this guy getting, you ain't trying to hit no from anybody anyway. When you get like that, you ain't trying to hear no from nobody because you're too far gone in there. I thought that was one of Whitney Houston's problems. These people can't take no. And Michael Jackson even got like that. He was so doped out, he just stopped listening to people, you know. But yeah, as soon as you turn that water off, man, they're going to come after your ass. For sure, they're going to bring you down. If you ain't never had no downfall in your life, there's something wrong with you. I just think everybody due for a downfall, and that maybe not hard as this guy will go through what he's going through. I ain't saying you got to go to do some type of case or ready to go to prison or something like that. But I'm just saying, that's just a part of life to have some type of downfall where you got to bounce back. You know, so you got people that stab you in the back, they know all your business. You know, and they're ready to pounce on you at any given time. They want to dangle it over your head. Yeah, dog. So, yeah. That's just what I think. You stepping in the building, I want to welcome y'all to GPTV1 live stream. I'm having fun. It's just Friday night. I just want to get on here and talk some stuff about this Diddy. But I want to move on to this guy, Larry Hoover. Hoover has been pardoned by Trump. That really sparked a lot of debate. Some people saying that he's using Hoover to get votes. And some people saying he should not be let out of prison. When he got out of that pardon, that got him out of the federal prison. But that's not freeing him totally. He just coming out of that solitary confinement. You know, this guy been confined for forever. I'm talking about almost 3 decades. So that gave him a little bit more freedom than the restraints he's been under. I think they trying to figure out where he's gonna be housed at and all that type stuff. And I don't know if he'd be locked down like he was at that ADX. He'd probably be able to come out of his cell and actually come onto a yard or something like that, like all day. You know, he probably can talk to more people when you get inside the state prison. But he got a parole hearing coming up. And, you know, one of the problems with this Larry Hoover guy is there's too many people symbolizes him. And that's what made it hard for him to get things done through the justice system and possibly get parole. You know, it's just this constant using him as a symbolism. Everybody know he's founded the GDs and all that type of stuff. So I looked at this article, looking at some quick facts about Larry Hoover. He was born November the 30th, 1950, from Jackson, Mississippi. And he's a Sagittarius. Okay, I'm gonna slide down. So this is what got him on a state charge. This guy named was William Young. By his early 20s, Hoover had been in and out of prison several times, had endured at least 6 separate shooting attempts on his life. So there's been some assassination attempts on him when he was out. So he's already sort of building up like this criminal type background early on. And however, he was unable to escape the reach of the law when he and another gangster disciple, Andrew Howard, were charged with murdering drug dealer William Young. And this guy can be looked at like something like Tukey Williams. I mean, the guy Tukey, I can't think of his last name, but the guy from LA with the Crips, he was not actually the leader, whereas this guy was a leader. Tukey was more like the face of the Crips. And I don't think he was moving work like these guys allegedly were. So, but he still got that face of a franchise type of thing. which is not even good. That's not a good thing at all. Because once you start all that street credibility type stuff, that stuff can follow you forever. Let's go back to this article. Let me see. Okay, he was unable to escape the reach of the law when he and another gangster, Andrew Howard, were charged with murdering drug dealer William Young on February the 26th, 1973. 2 men were convicted and sentenced to 150 to 200 years in prison. Hoover sent to the maximum security Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill, Illinois. Hoover's powers seemed only to grow inside Stateville. He began protecting other inmates, who in turn became devotees and new recruits for the gangster disciples. So, according to them, his power grew while he was actually in prison. His control over the other prisoners were recognized by the warden's office, which began looking to Hoover as a positive influence to quell riots, uprisings within the prison system. Hoover inspired the biography of Chicago Mayor Richard J. Daley, who began discouraging violence among his followers. Instead, he made education mandatory for members of the GDs and instructed his army to go to school, learn trades, and develop talents and skills so that we can become strong in society. Changing the GD of gangster disciple to growth and development. Hoover's move to reform began gaining positive attention from outside. Growth and development created nonprofit organizations that registered voters, a music label that helped needy children, a series of peaceful protests, like the closing of public programs, and even a clothing line. So we had all that going on behind the walls. And prison officials, however, saw Hoover's good intentions and deployed to get out of prison and resume his illegal activity. Okay, he had people lobbying for him to get out because of all this positivity he's supposed to be doing. Gangster Disciples has grown to more than 15,000 members in at least 5 states. Like, that was back then. So because of that influence, he had to transfer to another prison. And in that prison, he was living luxurious. New clothes, expensive jewelry. There's some video out there where he was actually walking around the prison with all the jewelry and stuff on. Especially prepared meals and private visitations from friends and loved ones. Suspicious authorities began wiretapping Hoover's private meetings and discovered he was running the gangster disciple group from within the prison system. Yeah, they got some video of him doing all that stuff. So that's how he caught that RICO charge. But he's not getting out too soon. We got a parole hearing coming up, and we got to see how that go. He's stopping by, click that like button. You can follow me on social media, on X and Instagram. I want to move on to NBA YoungBoy. See what they're talking about with him. All right. Diddy. Yeah, Diddy stuff is crazy. So I'm going to check out some of this NBA YoungBoy because I didn't even know that Trump pardoned him. He didn't even put in a petition for that. He didn't even put in a petition. He just pardoned the guy. I'm looking it up right now. YoungBoy. We'll find an article on that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what's popping with that. Playing a little commercial. We're gonna get right to it though. Let's get past that. Okay. This is from Inside Edition. They cover a lot of entertainment type stuff. But let's step to that and see what they're talking about. NBA YoungBoy. Get to it.
A Louisiana rapper has received a pardon from President Trump. Kentrell Golden, who goes by NBA YoungBoy, had pleaded guilty in December to possessing weapons as a felon. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison by a federal judge in Utah. He had also been sentenced to 23 months for a separate gun charge related to a case in Louisiana. NBA YoungBoy took to his Instagram account to thank the president and the appointed pardon czar, saying in part, "This moment means a lot. It opens the door to a future I worked hard for, and I'm fully prepared to step into this." YoungBoy had been on home confinement since being released from prison in March after receiving credit for time served. The pardon frees him from the restrictions of parole, and he now has a 32-date U.S. tour planned to kick off in September. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
So yeah, that's a report on NBA YoungBoy. And it's got to be having a lot of controversy going on too. Rap beefs. I think a lot of that stuff with Lil Durk and them, and the one that got killed, King Von. I think those guys had some type of affiliation with this guy. He got a lot of stuff going on with Jay Prince and all that stuff. He had some hot music. I heard a couple of his songs or whatever. Then he got caught up in all these pills and all that stuff, you know. All I can say is, man, you know, I hope he get his stuff together. You know, I've been sending a lot of notifications about him going on tour and all that stuff. He's selling concert tickets and all that, so he getting back to work. And I believe all this stuff gonna be a clean slate for him, which he ain't gonna have to do no parole or anything. Once you get pardoned, you totally done with the feds altogether. So you totally clean. So you get to go and do what the hell he want to do right now. So I just hope the young man keep going and moving forward in his career and leave all that messy stuff behind, because it ain't really worth it. You know, you've been locked up, so there's just so many people just okay with being locked up. I don't understand that logic, but that's my story here today. This is GP TV1 live stream. Catch up with me on my channel. I got more stories coming. I just put one out. You can go back and check that out. And don't forget to click that like button. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Y'all stay blessed out